All right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Ip Man 2008. Giving this 5 out of 5 stars. I love this flick. This is going to be another Karate Man recommendation. Donnie Yen is decent. I don't think I've ever disliked a Donnie Yen movie. Ip Man is a 2008 Hong Kong biographical martial arts film based on the life of Ip Man, a grandmaster of the martial art, Wing Chun, and teacher of martial arts legend Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is kind of a punk. He's got he's flying his kite on Ip Man's property, and he starts gossiping about how some sorry martial arts teacher got beat up by Ip Man in his backyard. Or maybe it was in his house. I don't remember. And then he joined some criminal gang trying to beat up on Ip Man's business partner. The film focuses on events in Ip's life that supposedly took place in the city of Foshan during the Sino-Japanese War. The film was directed by Wilson Yip, and it stars Donnie Yen as the main character with martial arts choreography by the great Sammo Hung. How can you go wrong with Donnie Yip? Dr. Lam and Sammo Hung. The film's co-stars Simon Yam, aka Dr. Lam, Lam Ka-tung, Xing Yu, Hiroyuki Ikuchi, and Tena Shibuya. The film was a co-production between China and Hong Kong, and was the last to be distributed by Mandarin Films. Ip Man is the first film in the Ip Man series. It premiered in Beijing on December 10th, 2008, and was released theatrically in Hong Kong on December 19th, 2008, receiving widespread acclaim from critics and audiences. Before the film's release, Raymond Wong announced that there would be a sequel. A second installment titled Ip Man 2 was released in April 2010. Of course, I have Ip Man 2 on my list at number 4. A third installment titled Ip Man 3 was released in 2015. I got to add that to my list. And Ip Man 4, the finale, was released in 2019. I got to add 3 and 4 to my movie list. Ip Man grossed more than 22 million US dollars worldwide, despite not being released in North America and most of Europe. Following its success, the film was nominated for 12 Hong Kong Film Awards, winning awards for Best Film and Best Action Choreography, thanks to Sammo Hung. Distributed by Mandarin Films, release date December 18, 2008. A runtime 108 minutes, not too bad. Countries China and Hong Kong. Languages Chinese, dialects, Cantonese and Mandarin, as well as Japanese. I couldn't understand a word of the Japanese. I watched the English dub version and I posted the link in the description. I also posted the English subtitled trailer in the description. So, in the English dub version that I saw on YouTube, the link that I posted in the description, you only hear the English dubbing for the Chinese people. The Japanese people don't have any dubbing, and there are no subtitles, so you're just kind of stuck trying to guess what they're yelling about. In 1935, Foshan is a hub of South Chinese martial arts, where the various schools' students compete against each other. It banned the most skilled martial artist in town, maintains a low profile while building a reputation for skill through friendly closed door competitions with other masters. One day, a local troublemaker named Yuan loses his kite, which lands in a tree in the Ip family's backyard. While retrieving it, Yuan witnesses Ip defeating fellow kung fu master Liu in a sparring match. Yuan spreads the news around town, inadvertently embarrassing Liu. Yuan's brother Lynn, a restaurant owner and a disciple of Liu publicly embarrasses Yuan as he tries to arrange a rematch between Liu and Ip. This one has a budget of 11,715,578 US dollars and a box office pretty decent, 22,108,789 US dollars. Despite having a limited release, got some decent box office from the Eastern lands. During the Second Sino-Japanese War, Ip and his family are forced to move into a decrepit apartment after the Imperial Japanese Army confiscates the house for use as their military headquarters. Desperate to support his family, Ip finds work at a coal mine alongside Lynn, who hopes to reconcile with his brother for humiliating him, but has so far failed to track him down. General Mura, a Japanese karate master, sets up an arena where Chinese martial artists can fight with his military trainees for a bag of rice. Former police officer Li Zhao, now an interpreter for the Japanese, offers the martial artists the opportunity to fight in the arena. Ip at first declines to participate, but he agrees to go after Lynn's disappearance after taking part. At the arena, Ip witnesses Liu being executed by Mura's deputy, Colonel Sato, for picking up a bag of rice from prior victory after giving up a second match against three karateka. Deducing that Lin was killed in his fight against Mura, Ip demands a match with 10 karateka at once, whom he brutally defeats. A lot of slow motion kung fu in this. There is some wire kung fu, but there's no flying around stuff. His skill arouses the interest of Mura, who asks Ip to return. Ip collects Leo's bag of rice, and Ip gives it to his surviving family. Jim Shanso, a highly skilled northern Chinese martial arts master who once defeated all the masters in Foshan except Ip, now leads a bandit gang, and he harasses the workers at a cotton mill run by Ip's friend Chow Ching Chun. Ip gave Chow Ching Chun, played by Simon Yam, all of his money to run this cotton mill, and Chow Ching Chun can't even turn a profit to pay back. Ip agrees to train the workers in Wing Chun for self defense. The workers are able to stall the gang when they return as Ip arrives to defeat Jin and Yuan, now part of the gang. After the fight, Ip confronts Yuan. I'm guessing Yuan is the Bruce Lee character. It gives Yuan a small tin that belonged to Lynn. After informing him of his brother's death, Yuan opens the tin. Yuan finds the kite inside. This motivates Yuan to leave the gang. When Ip does not return to the arena, Mura sends Sato, along with several soldiers, to track Ip down. After overpowering them at the apartment, Ip and his family flee and they hide in Lee's house. The Japanese track Ip to the cotton mill. The Japanese take the workers hostage. Despite Lee's warnings, Ip surrenders himself to the Japanese while arranging for his wife and son to be sent to Hong Kong for protection. I should have thought of that a long time ago. Maria asked Ip to train the Japanese soldiers in Chinese martial arts, but Ip refuses. And Ip challenged Miria to a match. So there's a lot of Chinese Japanese antagonism here, and then you've got the Bruce Lee gang, another group of antagonists. They're all fighting for a bag of rice, I guess. Though Seda requests to execute Ip, Maria accepts the challenge to defend the Japanese honor and to crush the Japanese spirit behind Maria's back. Sato threatens Ip with death if he does not allow Maria to win. At the city square, Ip defeats Maria after a long and hard fight. Looking over the cheering crowd, which includes his wife and his son, Ip is shot in the shoulder by Sato. As the crowd overwhelms the Japanese soldiers, Lee kills Sato with his own gun. However, Ip is taken away by Chow amid the chaos. Ip manages to escape with his family to Hong Kong. And I guess Yuan was not Bruce Lee because I can't read the Chinese subtitles. The idea of an Ip Man biopic originated in 1998 when Jeffrey Lau and Corey Yuen discussed the idea of filming a film based on Bruce Lee's martial arts master. He wanted to do this movie because Ip Man was a man who inspired the world and society as a whole. He was a man who believed in certain morals and principles, and we want to use this movie as a platform to convey those values to the audience. For me, that was the most important part of making this movie. That's a quote from director Wilson Yip on making Ip Man. Paragon Films Limited, the studio producing the proposed film, closed and the project was abandoned in 1998. Producer Raymond Wong decided to develop his own Ip Man film with full consent from Ip's sons. Raymond Wong had filmmakers head to Foshan to research Ip's life. Ip Chun, Ip Man's eldest son, along with martial arts master Liu Ao Young, Zheng Gao, and several other Wing Chun practitioners, served as technical consultants for the film. Principal photography for Ip Man began in March 2008 and it ended in August. Filming took place in Shanghai, which was used to architecturally recreate Foshan. During filming, conflicts arose between the producers of Ip Man and filmmaker Wong Kar-wai over the filming's working title. Wong, who had been developing his own Ip Man biopic, clashed with the producers after learning that their film would be titled Grandmaster Ip Man, which was too similar to the title of Wong's film, The Grandmaster. Ip Man is the first film based on the life of Ip Man. It also marks the fourth film collaboration between director Wilson Yip and actor Donnie Yen. The two also reunite with co-star Simon Yam after 2005's SPL, Shapo Lang. The screenplay for Ip Man was written by Edmund Wong, the son of film producer Raymond Wong. Wong was a screenwriter of Yip and Yen's second collaboration. 2006's Dragon Tiger Gate. Ip Man's eldest son, Ip Chun, his student Liu Ao Young, and Changuin gold medalist To Yu Hang served as technical consultants for the film, providing advice on the film's story and martial arts choreography. I thought Sammo Hung was in charge of that, but I guess they had multiple people working on it. The music for the film was provided by veteran Japanese composer Kenji Kawae, who also served as composer on the 2006 Dragon Tiger Gate, which featured Wilson Yip and Donnie Yen as director and actor, respectively. I guess I should give Wilson Yip some credit here. Oh, somebody's in the chat room. Wilson Yip is the director here. Marvin Martinez 2637 is in the chat room. He says, those are some good fighting movies. All right. I guess he's talking about Ip Man and the White Warrior. So I got to look up the last two Ip Man sequels, as well as Dragon Tiger Gate and The Grandmaster. The film was originally conceived in 1998 when Jeffrey Lau and Corey Yuen First thought of the idea of making a film based on Ip Man's life, Donnie Yen signed on to the project hoping to star as Ip, with Stephen Chow co-starring as Bruce Lee. Yen had signed the contract. Yen received part of the acting fee. However, the studio producing the film closed and the project was abandoned. In December 2007, plans to make a new Ip Man film were announced, with the filmmakers researching Ip's life in Foshan. Producer Raymond Wong stated that the film would take on a similar look and feel to SPL Sha Po Lang. On February 26, 2008, a press conference for the film was held in Foshan, where it was announced that Wilson Yip would be directing the film, while Yen would appear in the leading role as Ip. Lynn Hung, Lam Ka Tung, and Simon Yang were announced to be appearing in supporting roles, while Sammo Hung would serve as the film's martial arts choreographer. Casting director Zhang Yanbin spent 3 months casting actors in various roles for the film. He had completed casting during principal photography in March 2008. Principal photography for Ip Man began in March 2008, and it was completed by the end of August. A majority of the film focuses on events surrounding Ip Man that took place in Foshan in the 1930s and 1940s during the Sino-Japanese War. Since the buildings in modern-day Foshan are architecturally different from the ones of the film's period, the filmmakers decided to shoot the film in Shanghai. Filming first took place in a storeroom in the industrial district of Shanghai. Having difficulties scouting a cotton factory suitable for shooting, set designers decided to recreate one in the style of the 1930s. They spent weeks transforming an abandoned storeroom into the Zhenhua cotton mill factory, a 1930s cotton mill factory founded by Ip's friend Chao Ching Chuan, played in the film by the great Simon Yam. During the Sino-Japanese War, it was where Ip Man first taught Wing Chun openly to the public. Production designer Kenneth Mack included Western elements in his design, since Foshan in earlier years was a unique place where Chinese and Western cultures converged. Pillars were made to resemble English lampposts, and Western lighting, chairs, and tableware were also used. To convey the culture and feel of the time, the buildings were made to look obsolete and worn out. Apart from historical references, Mack also created a glass house, which was used in a scene in the film. No wonder they wanted to go to Hong Kong. The martial arts choreography was designed by Sammo Hung, and veteran fight and stunt coordinator Tony Leung Siu-wong. The biggest achievement lies in playing a true historical figure, unlike fictitious characters he had been doing in the past. He'd have to try his best to understand the thoughts of Yip Man, to be him, and to fit him within the past. That's a quotation from director Wilson Yip on Donnie Yen being cast as Ip Man. Donnie Yen's got the hair helmet going on in this one. He was hired. Okay. Hung had previously collaborated with Wilson Yip and Donnie Yen as an actor in the 2005 film SPL Sha Po Lang. He was hired as the choreographer mainly because of his experience on the 1978 film Warriors 2 and 1982's The Prodigal Son, both of which involved Wing Chun. When asked how he would work with Yen to direct the action scenes, Hung replied matter of factly, "With my mouth." Yen described the role as the most emotionally and mentally difficult in his career. He spent months preparing for the role by going on a strict diet, which consisted of eating one meal a day, training in Wing Chun, and learning more about Ip Man through his two sons. This was all in the hopes of portraying an erudite and cultured Ip Man, as well as bringing out the special traits of Wing Chun. Yen even went as far as to say in character after filming, wearing his costume and changing his voice and movement patterns. While rehearsing a fight scene, Yen was reportedly injured when an axe wielder accidentally slashed the side of his left eye. Yen also had a masseur on set as he could not raise his right shoulder due to an injury. Japanese actor Hiroyuki Ikuchi, who holds a black belt in judo, found it difficult working under Hung's command. In one scene, he suffered a mild concussion after receiving 4 consecutive blows from celebrated fight coordinator Edward Sueko Chan. Hung later praised Yen and Ikuchi's performances in the film, even though Ikuchi was not trained in Chinese martial arts. And he was not given a lot of complex moves. Ip Man's original title was controversial. It was disputed when film director Wong Kar-wai announced plans to make his own Ip Man film with Tony Leung Chiu-wai while filming 2046. Wong had planned his own Ip Man biopic titled The Great Master, with Leung playing the role of Ip. Wong's film, however, had been in development hell, having been announced several years earlier. Producer Raymond Wong wanted to name his film Grandmaster Yip Man, which bore a resemblance to the title Wong Kar-wai wanted to use for the film. To settle the dispute, Raymond Wong publicly retracted the film title, stating, "Actually, all along, we have called our film Ip Man, but our mainland investors said that Yip Man was a great master of his time, so we changed our title to Grandmaster Yip Man out of respect for him." In a 2008 interview, Raymond Wong revealed the Great Master was in development. Wong Kar-wai's Ip Man film, titled The Grandmaster, was filmed was excuse me, it was released on January 8th, 2013 in China. Ip Man premiered in Beijing, China on December 10th, 2008, only 2 days prior to its release in China. The film was later released in Malaysia, Singapore, and New Zealand on December 18th, 2008, one day prior to its release in Hong Kong. The film was released in the UK on October 2nd, 2009. In 2010, Mandarin Films sold North American distribution rights for the film to distributor Wellgo USA. Prior to its theatrical release in China, Ip Man held a test screening in Beijing on December 4th, 2008. The film was highly praised based on survey results returned by the audience. Donnie Yen's portrayal of Ip Man was repeatedly hailed as the year's best performance. He is a great actor, Donnie Yen. He's one of the better kung fu actors, actually. High praise was also given to the film's co-stars, Fan Sui-wong, Lam Ka-tong, and Lynn Hung. Ip Man also received positive reactions from film critics. Salon's Andrew Ohem, Ohehire deemed Ip Man a well placed and satisfying piece of Chinese nationalist pulp, referring to the film's heavy anti Japanese sentiment. Yeah, this movie is a Chinese propaganda movie. Derek Ellie of Variety magazine wrote in his review, Yen, who's taking on real star charisma and middle age, is aces as Yip with a simple dignity that exactly mirrors the movie's own and a gracefulness in combat. That's very different from his trademark whiplash style. Malaysian film critic Lim Chang Mo of the Malay Mail awarded the film 3 stars out of 4, writing that the film was nicely balanced with great martial arts action and an engaging narrative. Lim later placed the film at number 6 in his list of top 10 movies of 2008. Jen Ogilvy of 14 Times wrote, what carries Ip Man is its dramatic charge. It is the story's entanglement in the real horrors of Japanese occupation that pulls the viewer in and it builds tension into the fight scenes. The review aggregator website Rotten Tomatoes reported that a whopping 86% of critics have given the film a positive review based on 28 reviews with an average rating of only 6.6 out of 10. The site's critics' consensus reads, at once beholden to the established conventions of the genre and delightfully subversive of them, Ip Man is one of the most exciting and refreshingly character driven martial arts films in years. At Metacritic, the film has a weighted average score of only 59 out of 100 based on 9 critics, including indicating mixed or average reviews. The film was never meant to be a true biographical film to Ip Man's life, but to broadly touch on the elements of his life. Most of the central turns of the plot are there only for the purpose of making a movie more exciting, including the scenes depicting duels from Ip Man and the Japanese, including Consul General Miura Yoshiki, as well as Ip Man encountering hardship during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Ip Man's eldest son, Ip Chun, would have preferred the film to be shot on location in Foshan and noted the mansion was grander than the original one. Ip Man grossed 14,948,157 Japanese yen, or I'm sorry, Chinese yuan, not Japanese yen. Ip Man grossed 14,948,157 Chinese yuan, or 2,188,962 US dollars on its opening weekend in China. The film's revenues increased in the second week by 86.1%, grossing 27,812,224 Chinese yuan, or 4,073,201 US dollars, to retain second place at the box office. The film experienced a small decrease in revenue in its third weekend, dropping 10.5% to 24,889,189 Chinese yuan, or 3,645,112 US dollars, though remaining in second place. Ip Man continued to decrease in revenue, grossing 19,956,454 Chinese yuan, or 2,922,695 US dollars in his fourth week while staying in second place. After 6 weeks of theatrical release, Ip Man grossed a total of 93,740,529 Chinese yuan, or 13,728,640 US dollars. The film was China's 13th highest grossing film of 2008. During its opening weekend in Hong Kong, Ip Man came in first place at the box office, grossing 4.5 million Hong Kong dollars, or 579,715 US dollars. In the second week, Ip Man moved to second place while grossing 6,156,765 Hong Kong dollars, or 789,303 US dollars, with a 36.2% increase in revenue. The film continued to decrease in revenue in its third week, grossing 3,494,366 Hong Kong dollars, or 447,981 US dollars, while staying in second place at the box office. Ip Man moved to third place in its fourth week, grossing 2,075,250 Hong Kong dollars, or 266,055 US dollars. After 7 weeks of theatrical release in Hong Kong, Ip Man had grossed 25,581,958 958.69 Hong Kong dollars, or 3,300 or 3,300,847 US dollars domestically. The film ranks as the eighth highest grossing film in Hong Kong of 2008. In total, the film had grossed $22,108,789 worldwide, despite not being released in North America and most of Europe. Ip Man was released on DVD and Blu-ray formats on February 13, 2009. Releases include single disc and 2-disc special edition formats. Features for the special edition include deleted scenes, a making of featurette, a theatrical trailer, interviews with director Wilson Yip and actor Donnie Yen, and featurettes on both Ip Man and Wing Chun martial arts. Ip Man was released on DVD and Blu-ray in the US on July 27, 2010. A 3-disc deluxe collector's edition was released in China, but it only contains Mandarin dubbed soundtracks and no English subtitles. In the UK, Ip Man was 2011. In the UK, Ip Man was 2011's seventh best selling foreign language film on physical home video formats and the second best Chinese film, below Ip Man 2. All right, here we go. Accolades. Award Film Festival. We've got Beijing College Student Film Festival. Best Actor Donnie Yen won. Favorite director Wilson Yip won. 2009 Fantasia Festival. Technical Achievement won. Best Asian Film Wilson Yip, second place. Most Energetic Film Wilson Yip, second place. 46 Golden Horse Film Awards. Best Action Choreography. Sammo Hung and Tony Leung Siu-wong won. 28th Hong Kong Film Awards. Best Film won. Best Director Wilson Yip nominated. Best Actor Donnie Yen nominated. Best Supporting Actor Lam K Tong nominated. Best Supporting Actor Fan Sui Wong nominated. Best Cinematography Oh Sing Pui nominated. Best Film Editing Chiang K Tai nominated. Best Direction Kenneth Mack nominated. Best Action Choreography Sammo Hung and Tony Leung Siu-wong won. Best Sound Direction Kin Sung Sang nominated. Best Visual Effects Henry Wong nominated. Best Original Score Kenji Kawai nominated. Husbiao Film Awards Outstanding Abroad Actor Donnie Yen, Outstanding Abroad Actor Donnie Yen won. Outstanding Co-Production Film won. Shanghai Film Critics Awards Film of Merit won. Stiges Catalan International Film Festival Orient Express Award Wilson Yip won. Second Iron Elephant Awards Best Picture won. Best Action Choreography Sammo Hung and Tony Leung Siu-wong won. Best Actor Donnie Yen won. Ip Man is the first in the film in a tetralogy. Donnie Yen reprised the lead role in the sequel Ip Man 2, the second feature film based on the life of Ip Man. The film focuses on Ip's movements in Hong Kong as he attempts to propagate his discipline of Wing Chun martial arts. At the end, it also briefly introduces young Bruce Lee prior to becoming one of Ip's most famed disciples. Ip Man 2 was released theatrically in Hong Kong in late April 2010. Lynn Hung and Fan Siu-wong reprised their supporting roles, while martial arts choreographer Sammo Hung appears as a master of Hung-ga martial arts. Hung-ga. We like Lynn Hung. We want to see some naked Lynn Hung. Lynn Hung and Fan Sui-wong. All right. We got all our Chinese actors in the description and the tags here. Add those two names. Lin Hung and Fan Sui-wong. Yen expressed his lack of interest in making a third film, feeling that Ip Man 2 was incontrovertibly become a classic, bettering this first. Yen later stated that after Ip Man 2, he can no longer be involved in a film based on Ip's life, while both Donnie Yen and Raymond Wong were not keen on making a third Ip Man film. Director Wilson Yip expressed interest in making one that would focus on the relationship between Ip and Bruce Lee, while Ip Man 2 very briefly shows Lee as a child. Yip hoped to find a suitable actor to portray Lee as an adult for the third installment. In January 2014, Variety reported that Ip Man 3 would begin shooting in 2015, with Donnie Yen reprising his role as Ip Man and Wilson Yip returning to direct. The film was initially scheduled for a late 2015 release, but eventually it was released in early 2016. Ip Man 4 was released in 2019. Yen again plays the lead role, with Yip as director and Kwok Kwan Chan as Bruce Lee. All right. Ip Man 2008, rated R, 1 hour 46 minutes. It's a little long, but gets a whopping 8 out of 10 on IMDb. 243,000 ratings. In terms of popularity, the Japanese invasion of China, a wealthy martial artist is forced to leave his home when his city is occupied. With little means of providing for themselves, Ip Man and the remaining members of the city must find a way to survive. He shouldn't have loaned his money to Simon Yang. All right, here's a less flattering review from DVC 5159. DVC 5159 gives it a 7 out of 10. The review is dated December 21st, 2008. So, right after the movie came out, DVC 5159 wrote this review, and it's called, on IMDb, it's called the best martial arts movie since Enter the Dragon. Donnie Yen is in top form and may be the next Bruce Lee of our generation. I'll have to agree with that. There's nobody who can compare to Donnie Yen in modern times. Uh, he's just on another level in every movie. Forget Flashpoint, Ip Man shows Donnie Yen at his brutal best, telling the story of Yip Man, the man believed to have popularized the martial art of Wing Chun before and mostly during the Sino-Japanese War. Yen caught my attention after seeing him in SPL, then in Flashpoint. I was stunned by his moves, so was I. And I thought he was the next Jet Li. He's better than Jet Li. Well, after this, I think he may very well be the next Bruce Lee. Good point. I mean it. Not only injecting humanity and superb characterization, Yen also demonstrates his brutality when it comes to fighting. And boy, it does not get more brutal than this. Seriously, Yen's fists move like machine gun bullets. I like it when he's doing the double punch on top of the guy. It is like a machine gun. And he makes sure that his opponents are down for the count at their expense and our enjoyment. Definitely Yen at his bruising best. Other actors worth mentioning: Simon Yan and Haruki Akuchi as Ip Man's business partner friend and the Japanese general, respectively. The former portrays Ip Man's comrade with heart, while the latter performs with steely resolve and honor. This is a film that is not just made with action, but a good story as well. You've got two antagonists on the occupation of China from the Japanese, and it's just a bunch of anti-Japanese propaganda. This movie. The fight scenes here are arguably Yen's best so far and the best in over a decade. People are getting beaten, martial arts duels are taking place, and blood is spilled. This is not an action movie, it's a kung fu movie, and it shows. Legendary kung fu star Sammo Hung brilliantly choreographs the fight scenes to perfection. And it looks like he's not going to slow down anytime soon. The direction by Wilson Yip is slick and gripping as always, and he also gives the film a nice sepia tone to give feeling to the film. In short, great. This is a must see for kung fu fans to get their adrenal glands pumping. It's one of the best kung fu films of the decade. See it if you have the chance. You're seeing all this and you're only giving us